Alright, got one of the best roulettes I have ever had, and this one's against Malus again. Starts off with a fortress, and I've got a Lekman, which is nice that I got him in a roulette, but getting him as a lead kind of blows, because now I can't switch him in, do some sneakiness with motor drive later. But anyway, whatever, I got him, so I could stay in here and T-Bolt. I don't have Flamethrower, which would be amazing, but I don't have it, so I'm either going to go to Frostlass or to Honchcrow, and I end up going to Reggae, because Reggae can actually accomplish something against Fortress, namely scare it off with Heat Wave, which I have no intentions of actually going through with, because that's way too predictable, whereas Crystal Man couldn't really do much of anything to Fortress except maybe set up spikes. I guess it would also block Explode, and maybe Rapid Spin, but whatever. Anyway, I opted for the damage, and use Air Cutter on Uxie as it comes in, and do get a critical hit, which this guy's supposed to do. That's sort of his set. He actually has Razor Claw and Super Luck, because that's, makes, I think, that like a 50% crit chance, so that's pretty sweet. Exactly what his set is supposed to do. So anyway, name is Blind Trick, right? So I know Xerxes has been posting a lot of videos where he's getting screwed by Trick, so Trick is definitely on my mind. I'm also thinking maybe like, some sort of other utility garbage, dual screens, T-Wave, something like that. So Sucker Punch is not really something I'm considering. I'm kind of thinking between Air Cutter and Heat Wave. Air Cutter has a little bit higher crit rate, and Heat Wave has a little bit higher power if it doesn't crit. So he tricks, and I get Trick to Scarf, and my dumb self uses Nasty Plot, which I decided to do at the last minute because, oh, Uxie's a wall. I need to boost my special attack in case it sets up dual screens. So I obviously have to switch. And he obviously then is, actually he's going to yawn right now. So Cutman comes in to maybe threaten a Bug Bite, which I'm definitely not going to get my Scissor or Slep for this. Not when I've got a stupid dude on this team who can get slept instead in the form of this retarded Scarm that I get in every roulette ever. Are you kidding me? Oh well, I guess the roulettes are the only time I get to use them, so I guess that's fine. He U-turns out of here and gets out the Jolteon, which I'm not really going to stay in on, as much as I don't value this guy too much. I'm not going to let him, die for nothing. So Drillman comes in, and he discharges, which is cool. I think his Zapdos in that last standard I had against him also had discharge, so that's cool to see. I have no intentions of going for Earthquake, because I'm Choice Banded onto it, and whatever I pick here, and I've seen a Levitate dude, so I guess that leaves the next best thing I have, or next most powerful thing I have, which is Aqua Tail, and hopefully it's going to be able to 2-hit KO it from there about 55% or so, and might be a little close depending on damage variation, but I think he can pull it off. And he yawns, but that was on the same turn that yeah, okay, whatever. Anyway, finish off the dude, and that's awesome, because otherwise I would have had a dilemma about switching out. So Machamp comes in, and holy crap, camera, stop moving. Ugh. Anyway, I'm not really interested in staying in and taking a Dynamic Punch, as I do have that Frostlass that I can pull the same thing I did to him last time, except last time it was Noir, this time it's Crystal Man. So that's cool. I'll get Frostlass in for free, and I realize, there's not a whole lot I want to accomplish out of this, so just gotta hope he doesn't have Bullet Punch, and I'm able to debond him. Turns out he did have Bullet Punch, but apparently he didn't think it would kill, so thus didn't go for it. So, totally awesome. I get to, for the second time in a row against that Machamp, it gets taken out by a suicide move, which I found pretty funny. So, don't get any spikes set up, which kind of stinks, but whatever. I get to take out a threatening guy at the expense of a guy, I guess. So let's see, what will we drop in now? Get a free drop for both of us coming in here, and waiting. Here we go. He's going to drop in Jolteon, and I'm going to drop in Drillman. So I guess that's pretty okay. At this time though, I am gonna go for Earthquake, as I've taken out his Levitating guy, and I'll get the Scout to see if he's got another guy who avoids ground. He goes at the Fortress, which kind of tells me he either A, doesn't have anyone else to take a ground hit, Levitate or whatever, or B, he's a little bit afraid that whatever else I might have, if I don't go for Earthquake, his guy would get rolled by. So he continues to stay in, however, which makes me think he doesn't have anyone else better to take the Earthquake with, as I don't know if he's figured out by now that I'm Choice Banded or not, but I am. So get to finish off Fortress without taking too much damage. I guess the only thing Fori really did was set up Stealth Rock, so that's cool. And now comes Angara, and I'm like, no, I hate Dragon Dance. And I absolutely have to switch now, as I'm banded onto EQ and I'm intimidated anyway. So in comes Lolscarm, in case he wants to DD up, and he does want to DD up, which is perfectly fine. I have every intention to blow him away. And I don't have Stealth Rock up of my own, so Gara is going to get to come in unimpeded. And fortunately, Lolscarm lives the waterfall, takes more from it than a Scarm probably should, but I think this thing runs like max special defense, max speed, so what more can I ask for, eh? Roar him out to Bliss, which is like, great, a Bliss. So I'm going to switch out of here. I'm not above an S-Toss, and I don't really want to do anything when I could go into Elect Man. Maybe it'd be nice if he had T-Bolt or T-Wave, something like that, but ends up just to switch out to Jolteon on the double switch. And this is tough. Gara is like looming over me in the back of my mind. Jolteon is the guy who's out right now, but Gara is the guy I'm really concerned with. I do not want him getting him for free on an EQ. But if I don't EQ, then Jolteon can live, and it's gonna hit me regardless. But it's gonna live for another hit. So I opt for the safe move after he gets a drop, which I don't really think mattered. I think that was gonna be a 2-hit KO, or at least close enough to a 2-hit KO with damage variation. That whatever. And so Ice Punch doesn't take it down nearly enough. And now I gotta think about who to go to. As he does have a Bliss hanging around, I want to save Elect Man to cross-chop that at a later time. And thinking about who to go to. Obviously he's not going to use Electric when I've got Elect Man out there. I got two guys who can resist Ghost, Reggae and Cutman, both of whom I've already shown him. So I go to Reggae, and thinking, yeah, perhaps I could pull some sort of trickeration and go back to Elect Man on a T-Bolt, but looking at that does almost exactly half of what I had. I had, what, like 250, and now I'm down to 128. That's about half. So I don't think he's going to be in any way, shape, or form tempted to go for T-Bolt. So I also saw a Life Orb on him earlier, on that previous hit. Imagine that, I actually noticed Life Orb for once. So I'm also switching around, just making him waste T-Bolt, or making him waste Life Orb recoil. So sending Lolscarm now for Death Fodder. He's not going to be living any further Gyarados Waterfall, so he served his purpose once, and so I'm content to let him die now. And now the question is, what do I bring in? Again, Jolteon is the guy out there right now. I'm not really too concerned about it or Bliss. My main concern is Gara. I have plenty of ways to kill this thing. I've got Sucker Punch on Reggae. If he's LO, he's probably not sub. And I guess it could be, but anyway. I've got Bullet Punch from Cutman. But neither of those guys I don't really want to have in against Gyarados. So I go out to Drill Man. I'm not going to EQ, as that's number one, too obvious. And I don't want Gara to be able to come in 100% for free, as I know it's going to come in, get a Dragon Dance, and hopefully just one Dragon Dance and then kill me. So I Crush Claw, because that's his move I have on him to, as I use it repeatedly, which is, what you do with Choice Banders. It can get defense drops, so I deal increasingly more damage, and in case it's, gets into like a recover war, I can eventually wear you down with my defense drops. So he does in fact want to go ahead and DD up, which if he wanted to kill me, I could just bring in Elect Man, and that would have been way smoother sailing. But unfortunately, Crush Claw 50% doesn't go through, so don't get the drop, and that's going to make Sucker Punch from Reggae not deal as much. And coming up here is probably the key play of the match, which is awesome that it's this late in the match, and right here is the key play for who's going to win, or at least have a chance to win. At this point, I kind of already have a I'm defeated mentality. It's just, can I make something of it? And let's see, I've shown him Air Cutter and Nasty Plot, and he knows I'm Scarf because he tricked it onto me. So if I try to Sucker Punch and he Dragon Dances, he can just sit here and Dragon Dance, all day, because I'll have to switch out, obviously. And then, or, he can just run me out of PP for Sucker Punch. He can just Dragon Dance, and then he'll have +6/+6. So that's risky, and I'm tempted, maybe if he wants to Dragon Dance, I'll Air Cutter. But that doesn't really help me win the game. If Reggae dies, I lose. So I'm gonna try to make something happen, and I make something happen. I get off a sucker punch and get him down to, about 25%, which at least is gonna give me a chance to come back. So plan to win. Send in Cutman. Again, gotta hope he lives Waterfall at +1. I mean, Scizor does kind of have like base 100 defense, so, and 340 life max anyway. So Bug Bites, and I wasn't actually expecting that to kill. I was expecting to have to follow it up with an Iron Plate boosted Bullet Punch, but that was not the case. So able to take out that Gara, and now that Gara's down, it's just down to Bliss. And I suppose he could still S-Toss or something, but we're in the Zat talking. He tells me that there's nothing this Bliss can do to Scizor, and I'm like, pure Toxic Stall? And he's like, yep. So look at that. 40 HP Scizor is going to come through with Brick Break, and I think... No, not quite one at KO him. He uses Toxic just to show me that's all he has to do as far as offense goes, which obviously is not going to work. And Brick Break again for the kill, and that will do it. So came out of... I hate Dragon Dance, but fortunately I had a couple of guys that were able to help me pull out of it. And Reggae for the key play. If he had DD'd on that turn, it was going to be 100% the other way around. So that's awesome. I love it when matches get decided by a judgment call in the last 5 turns or so. Always love it when matches end like that. So great game, Malus, and see you for the next one. Later days.